Hi, everyone, and welcome to Strategic Wealth Strategies with our host, Alan Porter. Alan, how are you? And when we start thinking about the ways you're able to save people money on their taxes, that's huge because saving taxes is going to mean if you're going to be able to do certain things or basically have nothing. And at the end, your retirement, it's all dependent on having cash that you get paid for the lifetime of your life, getting a salary for life. And these are the types of things you teach and other things as well.
Well, Neil, today, I show people how to become tax-free in retirement, possibly before, and not having your Social Security taxed or adding to the means test for Medicare Part B, which could be thousands of dollars per year, especially in retirement when you don't need that. But today I want to show you a financial strategy that I use for some of my clients, among others, that kind of can make yourself the money work for you in 2 to 3 different ways. Now, this is a strategy that I use for people that, they've got money in a CD. I've got people with hundreds of thousands of dollars in CDs making what, 1% or something like that, or savings account. They don't even make that. Or maybe it's an inheritance, or they got to come up with a sum of money. But this will work for $20,000 to over $1 million. But this is just a strategy that I show people how to. Well, I've got this PowerPoint presentation, so let me just show you how this works.
As he's pulling it up, it's always great, these interesting PowerPoints on strategic wealth strategies.
Now, I tell people, what if I could show you a way that you never have to borrow money from a financial institution, again, for even buying a house, a car, a boat, or some large transaction? You can become your own bank. What if I could show you that? You pay yourself compounding interest instead of paying the financial institutions, eliminating your effective interest rate. And I'll explain that in a minute. And when I talk to people about effective interest rate, they have no idea what I'm talking about. But I can also protect your family with tax-free money with hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what you contributed to this financial vehicle. The other thing I bring up, I provide you with tax-free money for long-term care. And whether people think they're going to need long-term care or not, they better start thinking again, because 70% of all Americans are going to need long-term care at some point in their life. And I know this for a fact because my brother's 5 years older than me, and I had to put him in a nursing home back in Nebraska, where I'm originally from, this spring because he had Alzheimer's. And long-term care is extremely expensive. It costs right now between $50,000 to $200,000 a year, and it goes up every year, and it will decimate people's retirement. Then people ask me, well, how are you going to do this? Well, I said, it's not just how I'm going to do it, but I want to show you first a couple things. I want to explain what the effective rate is, interest rate. It is when you pay financial institutions compound interest instead of yourself. Now, I want to show you a little chart that I've developed for a client of mine. When we first started talking, I asked him, what's the interest rate on your house? He said, well, it's 2.75, Alan. I said, what's the effective interest rate? He said, Alan, I have no idea what what you're talking about. I said, well, I understand that because CPAs, attorneys, financial advisors, they have no idea. 99% of people I talk to have no idea what I'm talking about. And what I want to do is show you the money that you're paying to the financial institutions instead of yourself. Now, I had to fill out this form. I said, list the amount of the loan, the interest rate, and the minimum payments you're making. And we'll have a Zoom conference next week. Well, he did that, and this is the result of that. So I put together with a software program that we have at Smart Advisor. And I said, now look at this. You've got $461,000 in debt. Your interest rate on your mortgage, you told me, was 2.75, but your effective interest rate is 49.76. He says, how's that possible? I said, well, let me explain something to you. The problem is not the $461,000, but the problem is the average effective interest rate of your 7 or 9 bills, I can't remember, is 46.23% effective interest rate that you're paying to the banks and not to yourself. Where are you going to get a 46% return on any investments in your 401k, a stock portfolio, or any other financial investment? Now, I know there's some that you may be in an IPO that you first got in, you're making great money, but I don't know of anything that's legal that's going to give you that kind of return on your money. But, I told you I was going to tell you what effective interest rate is. And let me explain it. As in the slide before, the APR on the mortgage was 2.75, but the effective interest rate is 49.76. And you asked me, how is that possible? First, you do not get the APR until the last couple months of the mortgage. I bet your banker never told you that. It's the same way on all loans. To find the effective interest rate, you take your interest payment, in this case, $808, and divide it into the minimum monthly payment, which is $1,624, and that equals 49.76% effective interest rate. Now, I want you to understand something. Einstein said compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it will benefit from it. Those who don't are going to pay it. 99% of the people in the United States or in the world don't understand what effective interest rate is, compound interest paid to the financial institutions instead of yourself. So they're paying the effective interest rate. But I want to get people away from that. And I want you to take a look at these numbers. I've got a client, 65-year-old male, that had $350,000 net of taxes on a sale of his mother's property. And he wanted to buy $50,000, a $50,000 car in a year or so. And he was going to use some of this money, or he's going to borrow the money from a bank or lending institution or whatever. I told him, I got a much better way. Let me show you.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. I said, take that $350,000 money and purchase a single premium whole life policy from one of the companies I work with. I called it SDIC, a specially designed insurance contract,
Right.
which I use for many of my financial strategies. And the benefits are there are many benefits to this. That would give him approximately $700,000 in a death benefit that he can use for long-term care or legacy for his children. And that money would be tax-free, plus dozens of other benefits that people do not understand. Not only that, but he could take that money and turn his $750,000 IRA into a Roth IRA, saving him hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in future taxes. This alone is absolutely huge. Now, I want to show you what happens. Now, this is not the actual policy that I did for him, but I want to show you what a $50,000 loan would look like in a cash value life insurance policy, which is a whole lot. Here's the $50,000 coming out. It's minus 50. Okay, he's going to pay it back. I told him to pay it back in 5 years at 10%, paying 0% interest. So he's paying back. That's what this represents right here. But I want you to look at this. Before he took that $50,000 out, his cash value was $327,000. After he took it out, approximately $286,000. But now look, after he paid himself back, there's over $110,000 more in his cash value than there was 7 years ago. And the reason being is because he's being paid dividends and compounding interest for himself instead of financial institutions. Now, Neil, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And he still has the death benefit. But it gets even better. Not only that, but he's also paid dividends, as I said, on the $350,000 premium that he put into it. And Neil, I don't care if he takes $300,000 out and pays the taxes on that IRA, they still have to pay him dividends on the original $350,000.
Mm.
Now imagine, where can you do this? I mean, you're taking $300,000 from an account and you're getting paid the interest on $350,000 or the dividends. How can they do that? Well, I'll tell you what. It's because it is a non-direct recognition insurance company, and that is guaranteed. You're not going to do that with stock portfolio. You're not going to do it with a real estate or any other investment. And the simple answer is no, you can't do it with any of those. You can only do it with cash value life insurance in the properly constructed policy with the proper company that's non-direct recognition. And there's very few advisors know how to do this. Now I can show people how they can get out of debt with my Debt Free for Life program, if that is what you want. And I think that's the most important, because once you get out of debt and start compounding interest for yourself instead of the financial institutions,
become your own banker, right?
Become your own banker, pay yourself instead of financial institutions. I think that's very important. Would you like to reduce and possibly eliminate both debt and taxes and provide yourself tax-free income, not only now, but in retirement? Plus, there's so many more benefits that I've told you, long-term care, avoids probate, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Protect yourself again, like the taxation of Social Security and the means testing for Medicare Part B, which will be in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars per year in retirement when you need that money the most. Plus, I have many other financial strategies that the wealthy and financial institutions have been using for years. And I think it's time people become aware of these aware of these strategies so they can enhance their life, not only now, but in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to get a hold of me, you can go to my OneSub account, set up an appointment with me, talk. Here's my website right here. Here's my Debt Free for Life website. I have 2 different websites. Here's my email and my cell phone, which is 910-551-1046. Now, understand, I've been published and interviewed on ESPN and published in 320 publications. I've been seen on ABC, Fox, NBC, CBS, or CW. And I just want people to understand I'm very, very passionate about what I do. And I want to thank everybody for, just watching my short PowerPoint. And, like I said, if you want to get a hold of me and let me teach you about this stuff, again, call me at 910-551-1046, because I'll guarantee you it's going to make a huge difference, not only now, but in the future when you go to retire.
All right. That was great strategic wealth strategies, and definitely, Alan, great information again today. Take care, guys.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good day.